Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to our SEERAH series. In the last episode, we explored the early life of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, his childhood, youth, and the pure noble character that made him known as As-Sadiq al-Amin, the truthful and trustworthy. Today, we journey into one of the most inspiring love stories in history, the blessed marriage between Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and SEERAH Khadijah bint Khuwaylid, may Allah be pleased with her. At this stage of his life, Muhammad, peace be upon him, was around 25 years old. He lived in Makkah, surrounded by a society filled with idolatry, greed, and moral corruption. Yet he stood apart, known for his honesty, humility, and integrity. His reputation as a trustworthy man spread far and wide, reaching the ears of one of Makkah's most noble and respected women, Khadijah bint Khuwaylid, may Allah be pleased with her. Khadijah was a woman of strength, intelligence, and great dignity. She was from a noble Qurayshi family and was well known for her business skills. She was a widow who had managed her late husband's business with remarkable success. Unlike many women of her time, she commanded deep respect from men and women alike. Her caravans were among the largest that traveled between Makkah and Syria. She would hire honest and skilled men to trade on her behalf, and among them, she heard about a young man whose truthfulness and good character were unmatched, Muhammad ibn Abdullah. When Khadijah heard of his honesty, she decided to employ him for one of her trade caravans to Syria. She sent him along with one of her trusted servants named SEERAH. From the very beginning, Muhammad, peace be upon him, handled the responsibility with perfection. His dealings were honest, his judgments fair, and his words full of wisdom. During the journey, SEERAH observed remarkable things about him. He noticed how the heat of the desert never seemed to harm him, as if a cloud shaded him wherever he went. He noticed how his calmness, patience, and fairness attracted everyone who met him. When the caravan returned to Makkah, the profits were far greater than usual. SEERAH eagerly told Khadijah about the honesty, kindness, and noble conduct of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Upon hearing this, Khadijah's admiration for him deepened, not for his looks or wealth, but for his character. She saw in him qualities that no man of Quraysh could match: integrity, modesty, and purity. She confided in her close friend Nafisa about her feelings and her desire to marry Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Nafisa then approached Muhammad, peace be upon him, to subtly speak about the idea of marriage. When Nafisa mentioned Khadijah's interest, the Prophet was surprised but pleased. Khadijah was one of the most honorable women in Makkah. She was wealthy, respected, and virtuous. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, agreed to consider it, and soon the matter was discussed formally between their families. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, uncles went to Khadijah's family to propose on his behalf. Khadijah's uncle, Amr ibn Asad, represented her family, and the marriage was arranged with mutual happiness. At that time, Muhammad, peace be upon him, was 25 years old, and Khadijah, may Allah be pleased with her, was around 40. The age difference did not matter to either of them, because what united them was far deeper than worldly attraction. It was purity, respect, and faith. The nikah marriage took place in a simple ceremony, with Makkah's elders in attendance. Abu Talib, the Prophet's uncle, delivered a heartfelt speech praising his nephew's noble lineage and character. He said, "Muhammad is a man who cannot be compared to any other. Though he has little wealth, he possesses great honor, honesty, and virtue, and these are worth more than gold." Khadijah's family agreed with full contentment, and the marriage was completed with great joy. From the very beginning, their marriage was filled with love, peace, and mutual respect. Khadijah, may Allah be pleased with her, gave the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, comfort, stability, and emotional strength. She was not only his wife, but also his confidant, supporter, and best friend. Together they lived a simple but content life. Though she was wealthy, she never flaunted her riches. Instead, she supported her husband's integrity and joined him in his modest lifestyle. Years passed, and the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, became known throughout Makkah not only as a successful merchant, but also as the most upright and moral man. He and Khadijah were blessed with several children, 2 sons, Al-Qasim and Abdullah, both of whom passed away in infancy, and 4 daughters, Zainab, Ruqya, Kulthum, and Fatima, may Allah be pleased with them. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, loved his daughters deeply, and his home was filled with gentleness and affection. Khadijah, may Allah be pleased with her, stood by her husband through every moment of life. When he would sit alone, reflecting upon the condition of his people and the corruption spreading through Makkah, she would quietly support him. She could see that his heart was pure, his mind always searching for truth, and his soul drawn toward Allah. It was during their marriage that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, began to spend more time in solitude, seeking peace and reflection in the cave of SEERAH, just outside Makkah. He would take food and water and spend nights in worship, thinking deeply about creation and the purpose of life. Khadijah never questioned or discouraged him. Instead, she supported him with understanding and compassion. Then came the event that would change the course of history, the first revelation. When the angel Jibril A.S. appeared to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, in the cave, commanding him to read, he was filled with awe and fear. He rushed home trembling and said to Khadijah, "Cover me, cover me." She wrapped him in a cloak and calmed him with her tender words. When he told her what had happened, she did not doubt him for a moment. She said with certainty, "By Allah, he will never disgrace you. You keep good relations with your family, you help the poor, you serve your guests generously, and you assist those in need." Her words were full of faith, wisdom, and love. She believed in him when no one else did. She became the first person to accept Islam, the first believer in the message of Allah's final prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. She took him to her cousin Waraqah ibn Nawfal, a learned Christian scholar who confirmed that the one who appeared to Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the same angel who came to Musa A.S. Waraqah told them that Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the final prophet foretold in previous scriptures. From that day onward, Khadijah, may Allah be pleased with her, became the Prophet's greatest support. When people mocked him, she comforted him. When they turned away, she stood by his side. When they refused to believe, she believed more deeply. When the Quraysh tried to break him, she strengthened him. Her wealth, her heart, and her life were all dedicated to the mission of Islam. Even during the years of persecution and boycott, when the Muslims were isolated in the valley of Abu Talib with no food or supplies, Khadijah bore the hardship patiently. She spent her wealth to feed and clothe the Muslims, and she never once complained. Her love for the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, never wavered, even in the darkest times. Years later, after she passed away, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, would often remember her with tears in his eyes. He would send gifts to her friends, speak of her virtues, and say, "Allah did not give me a better wife than her. She believed in me when the people disbelieved. She trusted me when others called me a liar. She shared her wealth with me when the people denied me, and Allah blessed me with children through her." Her death left a deep sorrow in his heart. The year she passed away was known as the Year of Sorrow, for in the same period he also lost his beloved uncle Abu Talib, but the memory of Khadijah never faded from his heart. Even years later, when Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, asked him about her, he replied, "She was, and she remains, the best of women." The marriage of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Khadijah, may Allah be pleased with her, was not merely a union of two people. It was a partnership built upon faith, respect, and divine purpose. It teaches us that true love in Islam is not about wealth or beauty, but about loyalty, sacrifice, and spiritual connection. Khadijah was not just the first believer, she was the foundation upon which the Prophet's mission stood. Her support in the early years of revelation helped Islam survive its most fragile moments. Their story is a lesson for every generation, that when faith and love come together, they can change the world. May Allah be pleased with Khadijah, may Allah be pleased with her, and send peace and blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, whose marriage remains a timeless example of devotion and partnership. If you found this episode inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the next chapter of the Seerah, the first revelation and the beginning of prophethood. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.